But yeah, okay. So I have a couple of questions. How many of you use MySpace, Facebook, and, well, okay, exclude Twitter, but MySpace and Facebook? This is what I want to get at. Granted, MySpace, I mean, MySpace, they revamped their whole page and they made it look really, I think, cool. They did it more artsy in a way. I think they did it different. It's, I mean, they're revamping it. They're trying to get you psyched back into using a social network. I understand that. The other thing that I want to know is, how many of you out there that see this use your Facebook and MySpace? For some reason, I want to say FaceSpace because it's 1 in the morning for the second time today because it's daylight savings time and you were supposed to put your clock back an hour and whenever it went from 1:59, it's going to change to 2, it just went back to 1. It's kind of confusing, but that's what happens whenever you have automatic shit technology. But what I'm trying to say is, you have a Facebook and you have a MySpace. The friends that you have on your list, how many of those do you actually talk to on a regular basis? I know the set list of friends that I have on my Facebook that I do talk to. Texting, I texting texting is talking to on a regular basis, or calling, using your phone to get in contact with them on a regular basis. But how many of those Facebook friends and MySpace friends do you actually know in person, that you have met in person? That's what I want to know. And what did you do to basically befriend a person before you had a Facebook or a MySpace? And I still want to say FaceSpace because it's just, I would flip out if they actually make a fucking social network that was like that. Twitter doesn't count because Twitter is used for you to do basically cyber stalk whoever the hell you want. If whoever has a Twitter, that's the best way that I can put it is that, because that's what you're doing. You're sitting there following. Following isn't creepy. I mean, say that you follow a hot chick on campus or something, and you're gonna be walking, and what are they gonna do whenever, like, you're following them? They're gonna get a little creeped out. But when you're on Twitter, it's fine. It's weird to me, but I have one, and like, it's just crazy to think that before Facebook and MySpace, before MySpace came out first, I'm just gonna say that MySpace, the whole intention of MySpace I can think of is you create your own little page, you have your own website of sorts. My eyes are really red because I'm kind of tired, but it doesn't matter. They may not look red. I think they look red. They look red to me. But like, when stop drifting away. But MySpace was the whole reason of that is that you have your website, and then the people come and see you to see who you are. They had to go to your space to see who you were to determine if they wanted you to be their friend. A lot of people first used it to keep in contact with friends that they have that have, like, say you're moving away. You have one when you're in, I don't know, middle school or high school, beginning of high school. Let's put it that you're in ninth grade. And you're sitting there, and you're on your computer, and you put together your MySpace, and you go hang out with a couple of friends, and one of your friends says, "Hey, moving away. Do you? I mean, I want to still stay in contact with you." You're gonna feel like shit because they're moving away. Say it's one of your best friends. They're moving away, and then you create. You don't create. You've already had a MySpace, and you go over and you just click add as friend because you didn't know that they had one, and you basically use it just to keep in contact with that one, keep in contact with the certain people that you know and you haven't seen in a while. But then MySpace blew up so big that they used it, that people started using it just to friend and become a MySpace for in a way of putting it in the nicest way I could put it is that they used it to be nothing but an attention whore. They wanted people to see them and befriend them, but never ever talk to them. That's what I don't understand. How many of you guys out there have a Facebook or a MySpace, and you have a shitload of friends in your friends box, and you only talk to about 10 to 15% of the actual people in there on a regular basis, including texting or on the phone, even Skyping on a regular basis. How many of you guys actually have some kind of interaction other than a social network with that person? And Facebook, the first intention of that so the was supposed to be for college students to keep in touch with other college students in case, they needed help or whatever. Set up groups to go study or to go, like, it was basically meant for college students. And then after a while, the people of Facebook noticed that the people of MySpace were making shitloads of money off of people just wanting to befriend everybody on the internet who they never met. Like, you're living in New Mexico and you're friending someone from California, and then you go and turn around and you friend someone from New York and friend someone from Alabama and then Florida, and it's just, why? If you don't know the person, why talk to the person? I understand it's a good way to meet people, but are you really gonna talk to that person? Be honest with yourself. How many of you out there have a Facebook, like I said, a Facebook or a MySpace, and you talk to only 15% of the people in real life and on the internet, but you talk to 15% of those people in real life, and the other 85, yeah, 85% of the people on your Facebook or MySpace, you never talk to, or have never had a conversation with. And here's the other thing about this, is that when you have your shitload of friends on Facebook, excluding MySpace, because MySpace is now never intended to be a social networking site. It's not used to be for you to befriend someone and actually be a friend to that person and have somewhat of a conversation with them through comments or messages or IM. It never happens that way, because as soon as you go in and you want to say, hey, what's up, they automatically log off because you said hi. Because I don't know who you are, but you're going to try and say hi to me. But I'm still going to friend you, because I want to prove to everyone I have 500 friends and I don't know shit about any one of them, except for the first 8 that I show on my main page. I don't understand that. But here's the other thing. Facebook. You have your shitload of friends, like it was first supposed to be intended for college students, but now everyone and their mother has one, and grandmother has one, sad to say. But here's the thing. You're sitting there on your computer and you're like, hey, these people are online. Go click a name, and then you go say, hey, what's up, and they say nothing back, and then they log off. But it's like, as soon as you say, hey, what's up in an IM, it's like, oh shit, this person said what's up, I don't want to talk to them. Why the fuck are you a friend with me on Facebook if you're not going to do any kind of communicating or networking? Why? There's no point to it. This is one of my rants. This is one of the things that just started taking me off recently, is because I have contemplated going through my Facebook friends list and just unfriending a shitload of people that I don't talk to. I've gone through my cell phone. I had over 100 contacts. Okay, 90. What was it? I counted it. It was like 93 contacts that in my phone. That's crazy. And then I go through it, and I was like, okay, I gotta keep, the uncles and aunts in there. I gotta keep the parents in there. I gotta keep, the brother and the sister in there. I gotta keep the other, you know, some of the cousins. I gotta keep the cousins in there, the ones that I actually talk to in there. And then you break it down, and you have your friends, so-called friends, And then you go through it, and it's like you send out. I've done this. I've sent out a mass message saying, if you want to keep my number, something similar to if you want to keep my number, or if you still want me to text you, respond back to this text. I got like 15 or 16 text messages back. This was back when I had my before. What was it? Before I had this phone. Before I had my BlackBerry. It's before I had my. Because I have the Vibrant. Before that I had the BlackBerry. Before that I had the Sidekick. The Sidekick went to shit. And then before that, my Blast. It was my Sidekick that I did it. And I sent out a mass text. I was like, do you want me to talk to you still? A lot of them didn't reply back, so I deleted them from the phone, but I didn't delete them from the SIM card, which is stupid. I should have deleted them from the SIM card, but seriously, what's the deal with a lot of people just friending and friending and friending, and you never ever talk to that person? If you're gonna go and friend someone, it's like, hey, I know you, cool, I know you too, but are you gonna actually carry on a conversation with me longer than two IMs and then log off and say, oh shit, this person said hi to me? I don't get it. Or you're on Facebook for like 10 seconds. You're on Facebook for like 10 seconds, it seems like it. Your name pops up like, oh, this person's online, and then you go click that name, and it's like, hey, I haven't talked to this person in a while. You go and you start typing away, and you start saying, hey, what's up? It's been a long time no talk, whatever, no long time no text, and then bam, as soon as you send it, they're offline. What the fuck? This is one of the things that I don't understand about it. Is that we have these social networking sites so that we can be social behind a computer screen, and then there's another thing too. I've noticed that that a lot of people, not, okay, let's start this sentence over. I've noticed that a lot of people, they will IM you back. But there are some that will IM you back. You're having a long ass conversation, like 14, 15 minutes long, or some shit, just typing back and forth. And if you can imagine, that's fucking huge on an IM sheet. But anyway, you're sitting there talking to this person, and whenever it comes out into the real world, you go up and say, hey, what's up? They're like awkward about it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Or they say nothing, or you see them and they see you, and it's like, you, you start to wave and then it just stops. It's one of those things where you start to wave and you're like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna try, they're not even paying attention. And then you try and get on your Facebook and you're like, delete from friends, delete from friends, delete from friends, because you're literally not a friend. You're just, I'm gonna talk to you because I'm bored. But if you can answer the two questions at the beginning, how many people are actual friends of yours in real life and on the internet, and how many of them, like, how many do you actually know and talk to, and let's just leave it at that. I said stuff at the beginning, it's late, I'm gonna pass out, but that's what I want to know is, oh yeah, there it is. What did you do before you had a Facebook or a MySpace? And how many, I'm gonna ask it again, how many people do you actually know off of those two sites that you talk to on a regular basis? Now that it's almost 2 in the morning for the first time today, it was almost 2 in the morning earlier, but it went to 1 o'clock, it went to 1 in the morning, because daylight savings time, and daylight savings time can be awesome and bad at the same time. I'm just glad it's not on the school night. But this was awesome to say, because I'm gonna hope everybody sees this, because I want to know the truth about your Facebook and MySpace habits. Fuck Twitter, because that's completely different. That's you stalking celebrities.